actually show what these global event modifiers do. So when you access your map, like Gabe has just pulled up now, there are some highlighted areas on the map, guys. Can you explain to me what we're seeing when we see these purple zones? What's happening there?
So in addition to the whole world being modified and updated, we also have a global event playlist.
Okay.
And that's a kind of package deal of missions. And those package missions allow us to allow the player to put on a different modifier.
Okay.
So they can choose an additional modifier to the one that's already affecting the world, which will embellish that and also then add a little challenge layer, and that will allow them to earn tokens faster.
Oh, okay. So we're going to have Gabe jump into one of these missions. Yeah, Subway Morgue was the one that I kind of like. So it looks like Gabe's fast traveling there. So when you do it, I think it's on normal, you get 100 event tokens for completing a mission with the modifier. Is that correct? I think it's 100. Yeah, let's have a look. But yeah, like you said, you can alter that depending on the difficulty and also adding an ability modifier. Gabe, can we just have a look at it with only the global modifier, not with the activity modifier? So people can see? All right, cool. So we're going to have a little run through Subway Morgue and click on some dudes and see what happens. So the global modifier here, Tom, can you tell me about what this one is in this build? I will also preface this with this is a development build. So things in here are subject to change. There are some names in here which aren't accurate. I think you would have seen these referred to as festivals. They are not called that. And there are, again, disclaimer, development build subject to change. Tom, can you, like I was saying, can you give us a bit of a rundown on this global modifier that we're seeing here?
So just confirming you are playing the Rotten to Core modifier, right?
Yes, Rotten to the Core.
Okay, so this one is a cool one related to headshots. And basically, when you get a headshot, headshot damage is increased by a number for a short period of time after that. Okay. And the headshot will erupt and apply bleed to all NPCs around it. Okay,
cool. So you guys can't see this. So Gabe's running around shooting people with his SMG, and he's getting a little bit close sometimes. So there's a radius, right? And that will affect the player as well.
For the global modifier, no, because the global modifier is always a positive effect for the player.
Oh yeah, cool.
So the positive one is like squeezing a spot, right? You shoot them in the head explodes, they get covered in bleed. And then when you put the additional modifier on, it adds that challenge element to it.
Okay, cool. Yes, people are saying in chat that it is a satisfying sound. I agree. Kinslayer has a good question. So it makes the mission easier.
Yeah, the whole goal was to just give the players a better feeling of power, right? So there might be a little piece of content you're struggling with. Can't get past an incursion or something, you can just run it during the global event week and it should give you a little boost and a help to get up there.
Yeah, like people are saying in chat, so in the gameplay they are seeing the bleed is affecting the player.
Yep.
Is that, we don't have the activity modifier on right now. Will that be the case going forward?
What we want to do is, for the global it won't affect the player.
Okay, all right.
But potentially an additional modifier it may affect the player.
Okay, all right. Gabe, could you do me a favor and go and start another mission with the activity modifier on? Does the gear score increase? Jay, that is not something coming in 1.7. This is not related to that sort of thing. Okay, so we're going to just take a look at the activity modifier here. So for this global modifier, adding this activity modifier on top, do you guys remember what it does? Because I can't quite read it from here.
Basically, it has the global modifier, so you get a headshot buff for a headshot kill and it will spread the bleed. But what happens now is that the enemies themselves are poisonous. So if you get too close to an enemy, they start doing a damage over time effect to you. And then we turn on the bleed on the headshot, so if you get too close as well and you shoot them in the head, you get bleed on you as well. And that's the kind of full screen effect you'll get, and there's some cool player UI as well.
Yeah, Gabe,
that shows when you're being poisoned.
Gabe has just shown that full screen effect. He's getting nice and close. So what does this? So this effect gives you do you take a damage over time when you are within a certain range?
Yeah, once you're within a radius, you start taking kind of called poison damage, but yeah, it's going to be a damage over time effect. And and we're going to tune the strength of it, and we may compound it. As more men come in, it's going to build and build and build. But it really works well in kind of enclosed environments, right? Like, it really elevates that panic level. And the goal is to kind of get it to a point where you're constantly on the edge of life and death, right?
Yeah. So, Gabe, could you just take us into what people will experience as the commendations menu? We can see that they're split up into 8 categories as it stands right now. Some of them complete, some of them not. We have some of the general ones completed, the missions completed. Obviously, things like if you have hit level 30 and a commendation asks you to hit level 30, we're not going to have to do that again, is that correct?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Some of the other questions I had, so I can talk a little bit about this, and you guys can talk about it more, is that there will be some rewards tied to this, which is really, really cool. Vanity things. We can talk about some of that today, and we are going to be able to say that there will be a new vanity slot for the patches. Correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So obviously, I would love if Tom were here to talk about it, because I know that he's super passionate about those things. But if people kind of see, people know it from, you know, the agent, that on your arm you have the Phoenix logo, correct? By default. But you will be having other patches that you earn through commendations, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're exclusively through commendations as well.
Okay, so if someone's like complete badass in the dark zone, they will be, you know, able to tag themselves as such.
Yeah, they'll have patches that other people won't have access to. For
Okay,
sure.
cool. Add those numbers up, not 500. Correct, I turn D nuts. I see you in chat. We did talk about that before. This is a development build. So you'll see here that the screen reads 110 commendations in this build, but there will be a lot more. I have actually seen some of those in Tom's spreadsheet, and there's some really, really cool ones in there as well. So one of the things that I've noticed that the community are doing at the moment is they're kind of creating their own challenges, and they've been doing it for a little while. But like, for example, I know a few streamers are doing like I don't know what you would call it, but like in WoW, it was the Undying Naxxramas thing, which I got on my rogue, and it was a lot of fun. Sorry, that was like a humble brag, if you missed that. Anyway, Undying Rogue here. But back in for example, in Diablo 2, people were kind of creating the Iron Man type challenges where, you know, you would, you know, not die and all these sorts of things, or hardcore mode, or those sorts of things. Are those the types of specific gameplay experiences that could be added, or people could get recognition for completing in the commendation system?
Yeah, I mean, certainly that can be one compartment of it. Like, we'll have things like complete legendary missions without going down or dead, or we'll have things like, you know, in Dragon's Nest, complete it without ever being hit by an RC car.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we've definitely got challenges built in there. I mean, if the categories are on screen, we're looking to encompass all of the game. So each individual area will have very specific and targeted commendations for the player to achieve. Okay,
obviously, and there's ones that aren't targeted, like you know, kill this many cleaners, kill this many something, right?
Yeah, we've got general ones in there, like, you know, kill 1,000 cleaners, kill 1,000 Rikers, use, you know, get 1,000 kills with ARs, SMGs, things like that.
So looking at this, we're looking at Bank of New York, which is a pretty simple one. You know, have amount of credits. I don't know what the top tier one is. It's pretty high, but then again, there are a lot of people that have a lot of credits right now. So those sorts of things. Will you get rewards for completing the final tier, or will you get rewards along the way? Do you guys know about that?
You will get some form of reward for every single feat you complete. So you'll get rewards along the way, and then for a big tier one, you may get another reward.
Okay, perfect.
The patches will only be awarded at the end, for the end of a tier, but there will be something for you on the way. I don't know if we can talk about it right now.
Not just yet. So someone says $1 billion for the top tier. Maybe. People have hit $1 billion quite. There are lots of people who are there.
Yeah, we are taking feedback on the exact numbers as well. It's like a lot of this is not tested yet. We're also hoping for the PTS to give us that feedback as well. So when you see those numbers, they're not quite final yet, but maybe they're the general ballpark, and maybe you can give us some feedback on that as well.
Okay, great. One of the questions I see from Seven in chat is how will you be able to wear multiple patches? My understanding is no, just one at a time, right?
Yeah, just one at a time.
Okay.
It's also not just the patches, because we've got the commendation score that goes with the commendations as well. Each commendation counts towards a score, and that score is also going to appear on the kill screen in the dark zone. So if someone shoots you, you're going to see their patch and their commendation score as well. So you'll know, if they've got a low commendation score, you've kind of been killed by a noob. That's not so good. If they got high commendation score, maybe you feel a little bit better about yourself. So maybe you want that patch as well.
I mean, as soon as like, the ETF guys see this, like the first things they were like, oh my god, your score is way higher than mine. What have you done in game that I've not done? And then they were like desperate to go and do that to get their commendation score up.
Exactly.
So it's quite a cool kind of peacock show-off mechanic as well.
Yeah.
And we know that everyone's 256 in the dark zone anyway, so this is another layer on top of that.
Classified gear. Terry, do you want to kick us off? Top level? When we say classified gear, what are we talking about?
Classified gear are better versions of the gear sets that you know and love. I think that's the highest level we could go to.
Okay.
You want to jump into details, Keith?
Well, they're the next thing for you to strive for, especially if you have a set you already really love and identify with. We want you to be able to go all in on that, right? So there's a bunch of things that these are bringing to the table, but probably the biggest is that they're going to have special 5- and 6-piece bonuses, which is pretty awesome.
I think we also need to put the proviso on the 5- and 6-piece bonuses are extensions of existing gear sets. I think the way we're talking about it now, people think these are entirely new gear sets, which you could view them as, because there are 5- and 6-piece things which make them entirely different, correct?
They will change the way you play the game, absolutely.
But we wanted to retain the identity of the set. So if there was something you really liked about Lone Star, the 6-piece will improve that.
It adds to the thematic. One of our goals was to kind of look at each set and say, like, what fantasy does this set fulfill for the player? What do we want this set to be about? And the 6-piece is doubling down on that fantasy.
Okay, very cool. How do I get a classified gear piece?
Well, when the global event kicks off, there will be 3 new classified sets that players can earn through the global events and through the reward system of the global events. Once the global event has concluded after the week, the classified gear sets that were included there will become a part of the common loot pool. So you'll be getting them in all the activities you do around the world.
And it's that new, ultra rare, exciting drop to kind of build on top of the excitement of getting exotics. Now there's these awesome classified pieces.
All right.
Good.
Someone brought up something about the ninja bike before. That backpack.
Yeah,
super useful.
Best backpack in the game.
Yeah, I think we did a thing or two to that thing, didn't we, Keith?
Oh, this is cool. I like this.
Yeah, that is also going to be up on the first version of the PTS. So
it's probably not what you expect either.
We hope you listened to us and did not delete all of them from your inventory or your stash. But the new identity of the set.
Wait. Oh, put your thinking caps on, people.
Yes.
Because this isn't just, hey, it's an increase to a number.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a theory crafting mind screw.
We want it to be kind of that ultimate theory crafter's exotic piece. So what it's going to be is a wild card to gear sets. So
what does that mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, Keith,
so
what does that mean?
Imagine if you have 3 pieces of Alpha Bridge and 2 pieces of Firecrest and the Ninja Backpack. The Ninja Backpack will slot in and fulfill set requirements to unlock additional bonuses. So you'll have 4-piece Alpha Bridge and 3-piece Firecrest. So you can get really creative with this. On the PTS version, you can have 5 different sets and the Ninja Backpack and get 5 2-set bonuses.
What?
So there's a lot of things we're testing with this. We are expecting a couple, OP combinations to come out, and we want you guys theory crafting and finding those. But we're really excited about the build diversity this is going to create and the forum, message threads of people trying different stuff. It's going to make the weekly builds pretty exciting. I think.
Thematically, right? Yeah. The ninja is everywhere.
Yeah, he
can do anything at any time. You never know.
That's fighting from the shadow.
That's cool. There may be some cases where it's like OP, like you said, and maybe some that aren't as good. But I think we can all agree that's better than what it is now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
We reviewed a lot of it and nothing crazy jumped out at us. Nursery, right? We played with it a little bit, so we're super pumped about the PTS, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Unleashing the brains of the community and showing us how broken it is.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge PTS. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. From a geek balance standpoint, there's a ton of stuff to dig into.